Yes.
Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and I'm not alone. As you could probably tell from before, I'm with Mr. Jim.
Hello.
Whoa.
It's me. Wahoo.
Jimmyo. Also, Mr. Felix.
Wahoo! It's a Felix.
I was trying to think of a way to combine Felix and Luigi, and I just couldn't do it. Anyway.
Luigi Licks.
Yes. We in this video, we're going to talk about whether Super Mario Wonder is actually that good, and yeah, obviously it is. But we'd like to explain why we like it so much. And I'd like to open with just saying, I like it because it's really, really good.
Wow. Brilliant point there, Alex. The controls are fluid. It's really fun. Like, this game defines fun, I think. And the visuals, Jim, they are quite something, right?
I'm going to play devil's advocate here and say that actually Mario Wonder is really, really good. It's just such a warm hug of a game. Every single level is making me smile. I've got the biggest, cheesiest grin on just all the time. What's not to like? What's not to like? It's lovely.
I had genuine issues during the review period when I was playing it because I wasn't getting the work I needed done. And I know you can make the argument that I'm in the privileged position where playing Super Mario Wonder is work for me. But even then, like, I had other things, more pressing things that needed to be done. And I was just playing Wonder, and I was just... It's, you know, sort of, I know I've mentioned about games that I've played, you know, during the review phase, and I've had difficulty putting them down. This was, like, almost bordering on a sickness. It was so hard for me to put it down. It's just, you just sort of think, well, what's the next Wonder effect going to be? What's the next going to be? And every single time I thought, I must have seen it all. I was just absolutely thrown out of the window, physically, by Mario, and saying, you're an idiot.
That's my favorite Wonder effect when that happens.
I love the bit where Mario appears in your bedroom and throws you out a window. That's like, that blew my mind.
It was an out-of-body experience.
It's really evolving the 2D platforming genre.
But not just the Wonder effects are just like weird and you don't know what to expect, but just the stages itself. It's like every stage is so vastly different.
Yeah.
Where compared to previous Super Mario Bros. Games, at least the newer ones, they were just... You had the grass world, and then you had a bunch of grass stages that you couldn't really tell most of them apart. But here, you have so many different unique stages. You have stages where everything is a silhouette. You have stages where suddenly there's big, weird galactic goop that's trying to kill you. That's just... You know, they had so many ideas, and then you put the Wonder effects on top, which is just on a whole other level, and I just love it.
And the thing that's blowing my mind is not even the big old main stages, it's those break time stages, where between each level, if you want, you can be in a Mario musical for a bit, or play a rhythm game, or do like a weird enemy rush mode, or a sprint race. Like, there's just so much going on here, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, I do think actually those break time things, I really like them, but some of the earlier ones, this may not be obvious, but they're tutorials without being tutorials. So like, particularly there's one where you just have to run. You just have to hold the Y button and press right. That's all you need to do to complete the break time. But it's got fun music and the blocks are disappearing behind you and it's like, whoa! But all that's doing is teaching you, if you run, you go faster. And I know that sounds silly, but the thing is that if, you know, sort of certainly a younger player, new to the series, that's the kind of mechanic that isn't, like, having a run button isn't necessarily a given in a 2D platformer. And so to just say, hey, here you go, and just to dress it up as a kind of like, oh, it's just a little break, have a little bit of fun, chill out. And there's also like the ones, you know, where you're bouncing on all the blocks. Quite a few of them are kind of like tutorials in disguise. That running one's like the most obvious, but a few of them, like even, you know, sort of are still tutorials. And I just think that's a really super clever way of doing it, because you get that little like introductory thing, but then the game's just kind of like, yep, off you go, with the occasional prompt saying, you know, press Y as an elephant, and you go swing, and the game's like, good job. And that's it. That's it, you know? And it's
Yeah.
so elegant. It's so elegant. It's no Super Metroid, but we can't have everything.
I mean, the best kind of tutorials are the ones that just let you try everything out without you even realizing it's a tutorial. Like, I can't stress how much I hate when it's just text on text of explaining how the battle system works. It's just so
Yeah.
much more intuitive when you realize, hey, I'm actually being taught something, but I'm having fun and I'm not even realize I'm being taught something. I'm just playing this level.
To be fair, not all games can have that luxury. Mario is thankfully simple enough on the surface to be able to have that sort of thing, but you couldn't have that. Can you imagine, like, just feeling your way through Xenoblade Chronicles 3's combat system? You need instruction.
I think we can all agree that the best hidden tutorial of all is in the Jump, Jump, Jump challenge, which of course teaches you how to hate yourself.
Felix and I were just talking about this just before the call. I didn't have that much issue with it.
I had so many issues with it. I cannot stress how many issues I had. Oh, my word. I was incredibly frustrated. Is this Hollow Knight? I said to myself as I died on attempt 36, maybe.
It's kind
It
of
was
the path
painful.
of pain in a way, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. No
I
difference,
mean,
no difference.
compared to the path of pain, I think it's like the path of feathers. Or something.
The path of a nice warm bath.
The Bath of Pain. Wait, no, that sounds not as good.
No, that sounds like
Not
a
as
horror
good.
film from the mid-2000s.
It does a little bit, yeah.
I just want to swing the conversation round. I know we mentioned it briefly, but can we just talk about the visuals?
Yes,
Because
thank you.
I mean, how
It's
many
so pretty.
how many layers of parallax scrolling do we have here?
A lot.
Not enough.
No, not enough. It's the one area that Jim can't stand. Not enough parallax scrolling.
Give me more.
And can we also just talk about how the game is only 3.3 gigabytes? That is insane.
Is it that
to
small?
me.
I knew it was
It
going to
is
be small.
that small. That's insane compared to how well this game runs and looks. And Nintendo are just so good at compressing games. It's, man, wow.
Incoming comment about Metal Gear Solid Collection from Alex in 3, 2, 1.
That's only slightly more than you get on the entire cartridge for Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 on the Nintendo Switch, which is about 2 gigabytes. And it doesn't even include any of the main 3 games, any of the Solid games. But it does have the old MSX games and the NES games. So, you know, that's kilobytes for your money.
What does include an awful lot of game, though, is Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Whoa!
Which
The topic of this video.
Who would have thought it? I adore these visuals so much. On that first trailer in the June Direct, I was thinking it maybe looked a little bit new Super Mario Bros. On my initial viewing, but after having spent the 10 hours or whatever it is that I'm into Wonder so far, it couldn't be further. There's so much personality in every single one of these character animations and background animations. I'm in love.
It's wonderful. I think the wonderful. One thing that I've seen, and I've seen some people say the same thing. So, it doesn't look that different. And I think you really have to go back and look at the new Super Mario Bros. Games. And I don't mean like, you need to really look at them. Just like compare side by side, and you can see that there is an ocean of difference between them. If you haven't played the new Super Mario Bros. Games in many years, you might forget how they look, but yeah. I mean, it's just, I was about to say there's no comparison. There is a comparison, because one's a lot better.
I mean, I would go so far to say that this is the best looking game on Switch, and I will die on that hill, even though Luigi's
I
Mansion
know.
exists.
Luigi's Mansion 3, I mean, they're so different tonally. They're so different. Luigi's Mansion 3 is going for a different sort of type of graphic fidelity, whereas Mario Wonder, I mean, design-wise, Mario Wonder is just drop-dead gorgeous. I mean, can you even see? These are 3D models. Have you seen a single harsh edge that wasn't meant to be harsh? Can you see, like, an outlying try anywhere? You can't.
Just the animations, the colors, the backgrounds, the environments themselves. There's just so much goodness for one's eyes, but there's also a lot of goodness in the sound design and music.
What a segue! What a segue! You're so right, Felix. I absolutely adore the music. There's, again, just so much personality going on here. I've already spoken a little bit about those musical levels that you get in the break time. But what about, there's a very early Wonder Seed where, again, it becomes a musical and the piranha plants come out and sing at you. There's later ones, which I won't go into detail too much. There's later ones where you have another musical sequence where other enemies sing at you as you are running away from them. There's so much going on in the sound design and in the music tracks. Even Jump, 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 for which the rhythm is so firmly stuck in my head now, I can't sleep without hearing it. There's so much going on in there. It's wonderful.
I just liked how they, for example, when you ground pound, there's this little drum thing now, which is just, it's so nice. And when
that absolutely blew my mind when I first did that. That's so good.
And also the new P-Switch theme. I love it. It's so much better than the old one.
I mean, the old one's classic, don't get me wrong, but this one, it's just... It feels even more urgent somehow, even though it's a lot gentler, it feels more urgent.
It reminds me a lot of the closing theme in Animal Crossing New Horizons because it has this like Disney vibe. I didn't hear it a lot in Animal Crossing New Horizons.
It feels like your mum telling you to hurry up, but in a kind way.
It feels like your mom. I think you're totally right, Alex. And also the new jump sounds. Everything is so melodic.
It's like a string note, isn't it? Bing.
Yeah.
You know what is great though? What deserves some praise? The badge system.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I think it's a brilliant inclusion. It almost strikes me as, why haven't they done this before? Some are definitely more useful than others. I feel that the spinning boost jump is particularly overpowered, and I've used it absolutely to death. But there are, that doesn't mean that I have always used that and I always go back to that one. I really like the Fast Dash badge. I really like the Jet Run badge. That is just, it's stupid good fun. And if you can pull it off, like during the review phase, I was doing some races with PJ who reviewed it. And, I did them with, sort of standard ones for a while, and then I put the Jet Run badge on and absolutely creamed him by, he didn't even reach the end. It was great fun.
Are you guys finding that you are repeatedly using the same power-up, or are you experimenting a bit as you're going along? Because I have hit floating high jump, and that's what I use on every single level at the minute, apart from the underwater levels where there's a little dolphin kick thrown in to spice things up. But what about you guys? Are you experimenting with them, or just relying on the old faithful again and again?
I'm trying out the new badges as they come along, but I think I have a few that I prefer. But what I really like is that there's certain levels that are better for certain badges. Like you said, the dolphin kick for water levels, but then we also have, for example, I can't come up with an example right now, but there are some really fun badges. Maybe you don't know where the last flower coin is, then you can equip a badge that tells you where they are. It beeps, and I really like the difference. And it really just adds customization to your gameplay experience, which I really enjoy.
And it works as accessibility options as well. There's the obviously, as you say, the sensor badge if you're trying to find things, but also the add exclamation mark block badge, to make sure I was saying that in the right order. That is, obviously that adds additional platforms, additional power-ups and things like that. But there are various areas in the game, and I only know of at least one, but I'm sure there's more than one. There is a bonus area in the first level that you cannot access without that on, and it's got a load of flower coins and a load of normal coins. Did you guys know about that?
I have not used that badge, but it seems like an insane amount of work to put in, that you have to make sure that it works in every state. So you have to put these blocks meticulously. I don't know how much I haven't used the badge, so you tell me, Alex.
Yeah, no, it works as far as I can tell seamlessly. I've not used it extensively, but I only found out about this secret bonus area in the first stage because I was using it to get some footage, because I was doing a video about the badges. And I was just like, there's more blocks along here. Where does this lead? Oh, there's a block up here. Hit that. And it's a vine. And the vine takes you up into the sky in an area and you just can't get there, as far as I'm aware, without that badge on. You can't get those bonuses. And it kind of makes me want to play the whole game again with that badge on, just to see if there's stuff I missed.
I am very excited to come back and do some experimentation once I've played through the main game with my beloved floating high jump badge, because the way that I play Mario games, at least, is I will play through all the levels first, complete the deep, in-depth campaign that, of course, all Mario games have, and then I will go back really to World 1 and pick through the levels individually and collect any remaining 10 flower coins or wonder seeds or whatever it is that I've missed. So I am excited to go back with those, like you say, the one that adds extra blocks or the sensor badge, things like that will just make the experience so much nicer, because New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe lasted me far longer than it should have done looking for those last pesky big coins. So I am excited to see how much this helps on a second run.
Alex, you mentioned, with stuff not being apparent maybe on the first run, what this game does really well is how many secrets there are. I love secrets in a game. I love how little they actually showed off the game in trailers. I thought they showed loads in the trailers until I found out, wait, they just showed the first world or something, because there's so much variety that they didn't have to show any of the later game. And I love that. There's nothing better than going into a game and not knowing really much about it, because then you get to experience everything really for the first time. You don't know, oh, this is a new enemy, this is a new power-up. It's just, I love it. And Jim, you're definitely going to find some secret stuff that you haven't found if you've just gone through it very, fast paced or whatever, because I'd finished the first world and then Alex was like,
well, you thought you had?
Yeah, and then apparently there was loads of levels that I just missed because I won't go into it, but there's just loads of stuff that isn't apparent maybe on your first run, which, wonderful.
I had exactly the same thing. The first time that I saw, spoilers, Captain Toad, it was a punch the air moment. It was, he's here, he's alive. The fact that the hub world now is slightly open and you can walk around and find little pipes hidden behind mounds, and you can walk over turf and kick up some flower coins. That would have blown my mind if you had shown that to me when I was playing New Super Mario Bros. Completely blown my mind.
It's very similar to the overworld I've noticed in Kirby and the Forgotten Land, where you have this sort of free roaming and there's all sorts of little things to find, and it's wonderful. It's absolutely delightful, and they hide a surprising amount. I don't want to say in plain sight, but you just sort of think, you can just go through and it's just, you reach the end. You go back, and if you do a bit of digging, you're like, hang on, there's how much left? What's the...
I have had that since finding that first hidden pipe behind a hill in, I forget which world, maybe World 3. Every new world that I've hit, the first thing that I've done is do a little tour around the perimeter just to check. I need to know.
I had that by World 4. I was just, as I got into World 4, and I think World 4, certainly overworld-wise, might be my favourite, just because it's so open. It's so free, and you can just go around. And I was just, I think I discovered more secrets. I think in my first hour, I think I found all the secrets, and significantly fewer of the levels I'd actually completed. I just found a load of stuff. I don't want to express details because I want people to find it for themselves. But the sandfall, and that sort of thing. And it's just wonderful. It's just, I'm saying it again, but it really is. It is the best word to describe it. They've done well with that title.
I mean, that's probably how they named the game. They were just playing the game so much, and everyone was just going, "Oh, it's just wonderful." So they just called the game that.
That's exactly what happened. Miyamoto called me and told me.
Yeah, New Super Mario Bros. Was originally called Super Mario Bros. Vanilla. That's how it started.
But then one person was like, "This doesn't taste like vanilla at all. I put the cartridge in my mouth and it tastes horrible. What is this?"
And it tastes new.
What's the kindest thing you can say about this game? It's new.
It's new.
That sounds. I mean, I don't want to rag on the new series. The new series had its
especially
time.
the first two entries where I feel were really good, and then they kind of they were on that path for a bit too long, and which I feel like gave it a bit of a bad rep.
They rehash things too often, which they have absolutely not done in Wonder. My great goggly goodness.
If there is one thing that Wonder is missing, that the first new game had, it's a strange casino-based poker minigame.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that the other day.
Yeah,
Like
there
where-
was that. Well, that was on Super Mario 64 DS as well, wasn't it? Luigi's
yeah.
Casino,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Hello, I'm gonna teach you to gamble." Wahoo!
Yeah, where is the introduction? We've just spoken about how the Mario games are so good at teaching you an introduction without you knowing that you're doing an introduction. Where's the introduction to gambling?
Oh
Come on,
yeah,
Wanda.
you got 21.
Yeah, you in depth.
I tell you what, actually, this is a good opportunity to segue into the new voice for Mario, Kevin Afghani. When I first heard that it was going to be a new voice, I was skeptical. And there is definitely a new tone to Mario's voice in particular. Luigi, I feel, is quite close to the original. But Mario's definitely got his own twist now. Afghani's got his own twist on the Mario voice. But you know what? I actually really like it. I was skeptical going in, and I don't know what the reasons were for certain that Charles Martinet is not doing the voice anymore. But I think if there had to be a change, I think this is a great one.
Yeah, he does a really great job of taking what was already there but adding his own spin to it.
Yeah.
So it's like paying almost an homage to Charles Martinet, but it's a new thing. You can clearly hear difference, but it totally works. And as you said, Mario and Luigi are a bit different. Maybe Mario is a bit more distinct, but
a bit
I
more
really
sprightly,
like them.
isn't he?
Yeah, and I'm well up for the change.
I completely agree. The thing that I was the most hesitant about when it was first announced was the thought that, not to belittle Martinet's work by any means, but everyone can do a Mario impression, right? Like
Everyone can do a Mario impression. Not everyone can do a good Mario impression.
No.
a clear distinction, and you're absolutely right to make it. But there's a lot of people that can do a decent enough Mario impression. So what's really nice to see is as you say, Afghani adding his own little twist to it. I would
They have
much
so much
rather-
personality.
They do have personality is the word that I would use. Apart from wonderful, of course.
It's it's a bit like, and I think it was I think Arlo made this point originally. The Muppets have been going for decades, and Kermit the Frog and probably others were originally voiced by Jim Henson, and Jim Henson died quite a long time ago. And the voice actor just, had to change, but that doesn't mean that. like Muppet Christmas Carol, that's not Jim Henson. That's the best one.
Facts. Straight facts.
What about the online? I got to play it during the review phase, and that's not exactly the same as what it is now with it being fully populated. But I really like the online. It's so unintrusive that I tend to just leave it on.
You see, I haven't used it all that much, but the times in which I have used it is when I've been stuck on one of those... What's the name of the stages where you have to find the hidden...
Search party.
There it is, search party. I've used it on those stages, and wow, it is an absolute saviour. It makes that, especially when you've been stuck on like a particular token for a long old time, just getting 3 other people in that room to show you how to do it. It's a dream.
Yeah, I haven't used it at all just because I feel like it breaks the immersion a bit. For me, at least, I think it's a brilliant implementation. I have used it a bit in those instances as Jim, but otherwise, I like to play just by myself. It's nice that it's there, and it's nice to have the option, and it's really easy just to toggle on and off. So what's the harm?
So
I
you've
agree.
both only used the online to cheat.
For cheating. Yes, correct.
Exactly.
Yeah. And isn't that the ultimate lesson of Mario Wonder? Cheating is good.
That's the lesson I was hoping for from this game. Well, there's probably so much. There's so much we could still talk about, but I don't want to get into specifics and spoil things. I think anyone watching this who hasn't played the game yet should go out, or you've just started, go out and experience it for yourself. That's the best way to do it. I don't want to talk about any of the things that I'm absolutely bursting to talk about. I do want to talk about them, but I want everyone to experience them firsthand. So
Yes.
we'll wrap it up there. But thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you look at that subscribe button? Isn't it wonderful? And be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.
Adios!
Goodbye. Oh no, goodbye.
That's so going in.
Wahoo, no?
No?
Canonically, Elephant Mario is from France.
Yes.
Wowie, zahui. Okay, right, can we all just
You
get
need to
a...
slot that in the end.